Welcome back, everybody, to the Card Chatter with Refractor Jones, aka Nat Turner, and BobblesAndBallcards, aka Peter Steinberg. Hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week out there. We are down, crushing the middle of October right out. Um, Moving right into the swing of fall. The temperatures are changing, the leaves are turning colors. I know you're over in Vegas. You don't probably have the leaves out there, Refractor or
No,
Nat or whatever you're going by today. But anyway,
it's
as we
Mr.
always
Turner.
like to start,
It's
as we
Mr.
always
Turner.
like to start, give a shout out to Mason and Mason's mission. Appreciate everybody that listens to the channel. If you've been able to help support his mission, which goes towards helping other youth who have battled pediatric cancer and their families. It's a really awesome thing he does. Big shout out. I don't know if he listens or not, Mason, but I seen your post on Instagram. I seen you standing there. I seen the little video. You giving a thumbs up, dude. Awesome to see. It is amazing the fight that you have fought and that you continue to fight. And it's awesome to see the progress. And your shirt that you were wearing says it all. Never give up. So for everybody out there, whether you're an adult, you're a child, whether you're dealing with cancer or just having a really crappy day, always realize it can get better, and so never give up. So thank you to everybody, and if you're able to help out with Team Mason and Mason's mission, it is very much appreciated. I know things are tight, so if you aren't able to financially help out with donating, um, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It notifies us that we have a new subscriber, and me and Refractor will make sure to help out on your behalf. So with that, we're gonna have a bit of fun. Not to spoil anything. This is literally unscripted. Refractor just messaged me like 10 minutes ago and was like, "Hey, I got an idea, and I think this would be fun, but I don't want to tell you too much about it." And I was like, "Okay." He told me his idea, but we didn't share any information. So this is legit, last minute, non-scripted. We're gonna have some fun here. What we're gonna do is, as I mentioned, Refractor Jones, aka we're going to call him Nat, Mr. Nat Turner. Refractor is going to pretend to be the head, the guy in charge, the man behind the scenes running the mission, the boat at PSA, and he's going to give his thoughts on what he would do in this landscape and in this space right now. And on the flip side, I got the easy part in this whole ordeal because I have been accused for so long as a running joke that I own SGC. So I actually get to sit here in the chair and pretend like, not necessarily, I'm not pretending to be the owner. I'm going to instead take a step down and I'm going to pretend to be Peter, the CEO of SGC. And we're just going to have some fun together. And yeah, I want to hear Refractor's thoughts. So I will let you take the stage first. We will converse back and forth and go over our ideas and opinions on ways to proceed in the landscape. So go at it. This is war.
Are you speaking to Refractor or Nat, sir?
Oh, this is to Nat. This
Oh,
is
okay.
war.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So how are you today, Peter?
Down here in sunny South Florida, Boca Raton has never been better. Got a pile of cards coming in the mail. You know it. How are y'all doing?
We're fantastic. Did you see our price drops?
I Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have gotten like at least a chalkboard or something. I mean, what is with the yellow post-it? You don't even have PSA stationery. What operation are you guys running?
Well, let me be clear here. We try not to put money into our end of the business. We try to put our money back into the hobbyist. So we do things in light of the hobbyist, not in light of ourselves.
So that's why y'all upcharge.
Oh, the upcharge. Well, I mean, we have to have an upcharge fee. Don't laugh. You have to hear me out. I mean, Peter, there are things I don't like about your company, sir. But the reason why we do an upcharge is because we feel we provide a superior service, and the resale value of our product justifies us giving you a slight upcharge.
Justification to give back to the hobby. I like it, Nat. I like it. You're justifying giving back that invoice to the hobby.
But I'm
Real
giving you
swell.
honesty, though, right?
Mm,
But don't
You
share
know,
this. Don't share this with anybody, though. I mean, this is between you and I.
well, I mean, I just created my Instagram account. So, I don't have that many followers yet. I mean,
Well,
come on. Come on. I
well,
don't
maybe.
have the fancy PMGs, bro.
Okay. Well, I was just going to give you a little bit of advice there. I mean, maybe if you start posting some of your collection, maybe, I mean, you might get some
It's in
attention.
the
I mean,
works.
it works for
I'm
me.
learning the buttons. I'm learning the buttons. It's
Yeah.
in the works.
Yeah. Yeah. So I heard you were a little bit discouraged and a little upset with me. Yeah, that's why I reached out to you. I know we've had a friendship, and we've spoken, throughout the years, and I just wanted to make sure that I really didn't hurt your feelings, or it's nothing personal. It's business.
So I'm not hurt. I actually am amused. Uh, you think that you have to match us so you can get to the 5 month plus turnaround time limit, apparently, because,
Mm. How am I matching you, sir?
well, price wise, I mean, you had to come down to our level at the $18 mark. And I know it was just to give back to the hobby, and they'll
Right.
get their stuff back in 3, 4, 5 months or whatever. 18, 21, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I get it. I get it. You're giving back to the hobby. Makes sense. We're sitting here getting people's stuff back in 3 days, and we
Mm-hmm.
felt that we could give back to the hobby. And yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm
All
proud
right.
of you.
So truthfully, you want my honest opinion, because we're friends, and because we're friends, we can be honest with each other, right?
Certainly.
Okay. So yes, I may have one up you here, and came out a little bit earlier than you were going to, but I did this as a learning lesson for you. You have to understand, when the king of the hobby is dictating what is going to go on, everyone else just falls in line and follows. And unless you're first to the table, you're just second.
Well, as the king, we'll let you be the king of amount graded, but we will be the king of turnaround time.
Okay. How about we throw some resale value on top of that?
You have nothing to do with resale value, Nat, unless you're out there buying all of your slabs up and manipulating the market. Let's be real, sir. You have zero to do. Like, it's funny. People keep asking, what can the grading companies do to increase the value of their slabs? That's like, I mean, come on. We have nothing to do. We give the grade on the slab and put the card in the slab. We don't list it for the sellers on eBay. We don't set the price. If somebody wants to sell their card cheaper, that's on them.
Mm-hmm. So may I ask why we're the preferred choice of the hobby for grading?
Sure, it's simple. You give out more tens than we do.
Really?
Go look at the numbers. It's obvious.
You're not accusing me of manipulating the pop report, are you?
Not manipulating the pop report, no. Your
Okay.
standards are clearly identified as easier to get a 10.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure there, because I didn't, I haven't thrown you under the bus or anything. I mean, I may have one-upped you here as far as being first to the table to lower prices, but I know I didn't do anything, spiteful to you to hurt your feelings or anything like that, because I've
Let me
seen
ask
that
you
you.
this.
Hold on. Let me finish. Here, Peter. I know you've come out here. You're making the rounds now, talking to everybody, but I haven't gone out there and said anything. I don't need to. I let my slabs and
Your
my
slab
company
speak
speak
for
for
itself.
itself.
What was the first card that your company ever graded?
Okay, you understand. I wasn't there at the company at that time
Oh,
when that
oh yeah,
T206
yeah.
was done. Okay, I
My
wasn't
bad.
there,
I forgot. I
right?
forgot. Okay. How about those
I
Funko
didn't own the
Pops?
company. Well, I mean, that's just diversifying, right? I mean, it's smart. We need to diversify and eat up any other piece of the pie that we can get.
I have a question for you. So
Sure.
we just discussed the declared value, right? And the upcharges.
Okay.
Why isn't that the same thing on the Funko Pops?
Because I don't feel that the Funko Pops have enough of a draw at this time. We could get there, someday, but
So
I just
you're
don't feel that
saying that
they
you're
have the
giving back,
strongest.
you say you're giving back to the hobby and that you have to do a declared value because of the value increase that your grading gives to the sports cards or Pokemon trading card game, TCGs. Are you
Okay.
telling the Funko Pop community that these big plastic boxes that you're putting their Funko Pops in aren't adding value?
Sure, I feel that we definitely add value. The PSA brand will add value to your collectible. I mean, that's what we stand behind.
I was just curious because it's a weird operation that one market segment has declared values and upcharges, and your hobbyist consumer base has asked repeatedly how it makes any sense, and yet there's been no change to it. And in fact, some of the service levels have very tight margins. But then you open up a brand new service to do these Funko Pops, and yet you have a standardized pricing level or pricing tiers. Very interesting, very interesting. So I was just curious on that
hmm
aspect.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little insight, and the real reason why we decided to do something like this. One, like I said, we want to diversify and we want to be able to capture the bigger piece of the pie. And the more that we bring in house means the less money that's coming to you, less money that's coming to CSG. God knows no money's going to Beckett anyway. I mean, I'm going to try to buy Beckett here pretty soon. I mean, I don't need you to tell anybody that, but I'm going to try. We're
Did
going
you
to see if we
notice?
can.
Did you notice they have a price
What
drop
the heck?
too?
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
not many
it really
people's
doesn't
talking
matter.
about it, but they
But
did a
it's
price
Beckett.
drop too.
Yeah, but who cares? It's just Beckett. It makes no bit of difference. You know what I mean? They killed their brand a year and a half ago. So I mean, we already know where they're at. I know you're trying to get to my heels, and I can feel you. I can feel you nibbling at my heels. But I also want you to know that there comes a price with you nibbling at my heels, and the price that you're going to have to pay is not going to be good because you're going to end up facing some layoffs because I can drop that number to any number that I see fit and not hurt my company. I can take as many cards in and let them sit. And as long as I give you, the consumer, the cheaper rate, you are not going to be able to compete because dollars matter to everyone.
I would beg to differ there, sir. I think that you can drop your price short, but you overpaid for a company at the peak of a market and you're trying to recoup your funding. You had to expand. You have two locations that you have to service. You have massive amount more of employees than you used to. You have a vault now. You have all of this other stuff that you got going on. You got bills to pay as well. Now, granted, you got some money in your pocket and some people on your back. Gotcha. But at the same time, you just got done shafting people for 18 to 20 plus months. Do you really think that they want to wait that long yet again when I can give them 3 to 5 to 10 business days?
Peter, let's be realistic. When
And as
trading
you go
was,
down, I can go down.
you may, sir, but I have the bigger company and I have the bigger assets behind me, and I can stand on those two things.
I think you
And
added "ets" to the end of that word. Say it
did
again.
Assets?
Yeah, you added ets to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the bigger asses behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they
Mm-hmm.
say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
You do remember what I did to the grading landscape when you guys thought that you guys could compete with me. I shut the whole grading landscape down. All I did was shut down my doors. As soon as I shut down my doors, what happened? What
I
happened?
went on Cardboard Chronicles and told people to send me all their cards, and I was new at the helm. Our company wasn't fully accepted yet into the ultramodern landscape, and quite honestly, I didn't realize that as many people would give us a shot as they did. I'm not giving you credit for that. I'm not giving you credit for the pandemic that caused you to shut down. I'm saying
The,
I was at fault there.
no, the pandemic didn't cause me to shut down here, Peter. I did it strategically. I did it so I knew that every grading company was going to end up getting flooded and overwhelmed. And then what was going to happen?
Well, what happened was I caught it early. I got my people together. I expanded our company and I got the people's cards back to them. I grew my company. I gained respect. And now I am giving people, let me rephrase this again, 3 to 5 day, 5 to 10 day turnaround times. So congrats.
Hmm?
You put
Yeah.
us at a level for a couple months. You took over a year and a half. Go look at my Instagram
I,
comments versus your Instagram comments.
oh,
Who's
you
getting
can't
more
get,
support?
you know those are all bots out there anyway. You can't believe any of that. I mean, we're talking
The
amongst
bots
friends
are
here.
thanking us?
What's that?
The bots are thanking us and roasting you?
Well, sure. I mean, you're always coming after
Did you get
the
the
top
bad
gun.
bot package? You skimped on the
No,
bot package too. I'm gonna have to give you the good link for the bot package.
did you?
You
I
bought
definitely
from
gonna
the
have to get
you
it.
bought from the Dollar Tree bot package. Jeez, Nat, jeez.
I do go to Dollar Tree, by the way. I mean, they do have some cards every now and then. So again, I don't want your feelings hurt. I don't want your company to feel that I did something negative by scooping you. And even though you feel that you were first, you technically weren't. I was first. And remember, I can keep going lower. So you shouldn't poke the
I
bear.
mean, wait. I mean, if you get technical, the company that made the first move was neither of us.
Who are you referring to? Because there are no other companies.
I'm pretty sure CSG did their discount for the month of October before either of us announced our pricing changes.
Oh yeah, but I mean, come on. We're talking apples and oranges here, not even a banana. I mean, you know what I
Well,
mean?
do
You
you
know what you're
understand do you get what you're saying right now though? I really
sure.
appreciate this. I
Yeah.
really appreciate this.
Yeah,
You're taking
absolutely.
the time to converse with me, and you just said Beckett isn't any good, and you just said CSG is not any good. So you are admitting that we are a threat.
No, I said you're nipping at my heels, and I heard through the grapevine that your feelings were hurt. And then when it came out to me, and it was told that you've been on the circuit already, making videos, I had
Ah,
to personally just give you a call.
my feelings were hurt. My
You
feelings were
know,
hurt.
I I don't want a
I don't
friendship
think I think you
this side.
misinterpreted my feelings were hurt as being highly amused.
Really.
I think it's cute.
And everything that you've come out and you even said here today, you didn't have it in a negative way. Even though I mean, I specifically heard you say today that you love PSA, and then again, you got your feelings hurt that I kind of scooped you. I'm just trying to be clear here. You know, again,
Nah.
we are friends.
Are you going to grade those
in
post-it notes?
in business, I don't think I need to. I think the volume that I get coming in.
Wait. I already know what's going to happen. You're going to take them over to your homeboy, Kenny G, and you're going to let him do an Instagram video burning them. I got it. More views, more attention, right? Real used, the IG real used price decrease post-it notes.
Right.
For sale, like golden auction. That'll be the next thing. The next thing.
Bringing too much good. Have me there because, you know, Kenny hasn't really been in very good light, you know, with a lot of the hobby for a very long time, but I never really thought it was ever going to come forth and bite me in the rear end, you know, that all of his.
But my feelings were hurt.
Well, I'm not talking about my feelings here. I'm talking about business. You know, I have to answer to others here as well. You know, my other partners that we bought this auction house and we brought this auction house in under our umbrella, and now
you know everything. Agents hanging around?
Yeah, one or two. You know, and the problem of yeah, and me having, you know, this kind of little bit of a black, you know, light on me now because Ken has done these crazy things in the past, and of course they were in anymore. You know, I mean, he's an upstanding guy now. He doesn't do anything crazy. You know, I really think that might have even been a double that night that he was on Instagram. You know, the whole bin thing that you were talking about, burning some wrappers. I didn't watch it because I didn't believe it was Ken. You know, and then he called me the next day and said that, you know, that it definitely wasn't him, that he didn't partake in anything like that. So, you know, I have to believe him for, you know, at face value, you know, so.
Is that upcharged face value or just standard flat rate face value?
Are you really upset about this upcharge thing? Do you realize that you could?
No, sir. I'm not upset. I want to revert back to the beginning of this conversation when I asked a question. Okay. You said you were doing it for the hobby, and if you listen to the people of the hobby, they have questioned this very often.
Yes.
And nobody actually knows the answer. Like, I literally watched one of your largest bulk submitters get this question asked to them, and they legit said they would choose to ignore the question because they didn't actually know the answer.
Well, I'm here today to give it to you here on, you know, on the card chatter for you. I mean, I've told you, you know, exactly what it is. We feel that our brand is superior. We feel that our grading company is superior to everyone else. And I'm not trying to be conceited. I'm just stating, I'm not even going to say a fact. I'm going to state the truth. The truth, because we get more submissions into our house, and throughout the years, with the exception of the mantle, our cards have always brought the most at auction. Have they not?
What place is what's the leaderboard looking like right now? I'm pretty sure we have number 1 and number 2.
No, sir. You guys are, like I said, you're just, you know, chomping on my heels right now. I mean, like I said, I gave you this
statistics there, buddy. We have number 1 and number 2.
Number 1 in what?
We have the 2 top selling cards.
In what? Number 1 in what?
In resale value.
Okay, so you have the mantle, and what else?
Yep. Next in line is the Wagner.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. True. Yeah. I'm not putting any weight on that. Come on. I'm talking about overall.
You were poo-pooing on Beckett, and yet I seen, who was that kid? Justin somebody that sold for $1.8 million? That wasn't even in your slab. Man.
No. Yeah, it wasn't. Whose slab was that in?
That was in that company you were poo-pooing, Beckett.
I can't remember. Whose slab was that in?
That wasn't Beckett. You better get that card. You better
the
get your
company
hands on that card and get it into your slab.
You got to. Shh.
What happened to the LeBron triple logo, man? I thought that was like a
on the logo.
$1
I'm
billion
trying
card.
to buy the company. So, what about it?
I thought it was $1 billion because it was in a PSA holder.
No, again, I'm not very happy with Kenny. Kenny has done some, again, Kenny's gone out and done some things that he shouldn't have done. And he hurts, he hurt me as a friend. And I thought by me doing him a favor, keeping it in the good old boys club by pulling his company in under our umbrella and thinking that we can monopolize everything and keep it all in-house. I truly thought that we would all be very rich together.
While I have you, and again, I really respect the hustle, the diversification, the offerings of so many different products of plastic holders. I'm not even going to say grading at the moment because you're authenticators, not graders. I understand that and I respect that. So the diversification, I've been meaning to ask you in our conversations. What about all these Pokemon packs and these other graded packs and stuff? I've been hearing something about the person that was like certifying those and stuff for you guys has like been doing some weird stuff where the boxes had like G.I. Joe or something in them. And then there was some recordings and emails and stuff saying that likely resealed packs were getting graded and slabbed in PSA. What's with all that crap? Like, I've never heard anybody even say that about GAI.
Yeah, Peter, you do have me on that one. We kind of dropped the ball there because we subcontracted it out instead of doing it ourselves. And that's always a problem. When you subcontract something out, you're putting everything else into somebody else's hands. You have no control over what's actually being done. So yes, did I have Steve do these? And yes, did I feel that he was the accepted leader in the hobby to actually authenticate these items? And we subcontracted him out. Although I don't feel that I could be held liable for it, but I will take some blame from it, because it is in my slab. So,
All right.
like I said, you have me there.
I have a great question for you, and I'm going to leave this as an open mic, open floor. You go about it, okay? So I just took a hard hit, jab at you with the packs. We've talked about the 18 plus months. We've talked
but it wasn't
about
me though.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on. It wasn't me. It was Steve. I subcontracted that out.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So I'm not talking you or Steve. I'm talking the brand, the company, collectors.
Okay. Yeah.
We're one company wide here.
Because
all right.
Because I'm a collect. Because truthfully, I'm a collector at heart.
I respect that. Your PMGs are pretty, Nat. Your PMGs are pretty. I respect them.
Yeah. Have you seen my wax collection?
Even the Beckett ones are pretty. I understand. Yeah. Okay.
What about my wax collection?
All these little jabs and everything, right?
Wait a minute.
So what about a chance?
Wait, what about my wax collection? Don't you like my wax collection too?
I like to, as a collector, I like to see what's inside the packs. We grade cards, and the only way to grade the cards is to have them outside of the packs. So that's kind of like my thing, That's why I work for this company. We don't grade packs, if you haven't noticed. So the sealed wax isn't really a vibe for me, but I'll respect it. Now, my question is, I've taken all these little jabs and everything.
Yeah. You're still my friend, by the way.
Tell me what you've done positively. What have you given back to the hobby in such a positive light? Quite frankly, we'll just go since you've taken over the operations. We won't even go further back. I'll exclude all of that. What have you done positively?
Yeah, you most definitely can't go back further than myself because truthfully, the regime under Joe was, it really was bad. And that's why I only kept him around for an extra month, and then I pushed him out on his way. I basically did it to to save some face and try to keep some of those bigger corporate accounts that were loyal to him. And once I locked down those corporate accounts and made sure that they were all taken care of, I sent him packing. I mean, we've already seen what he's done with the company for all these years. Now, as far as what I'm doing and what I'm still trying to do, I'm still cleaning up Joe's mess, Peter. You know, this guy. And, oh, hold on, let me finish. I hear that breath coming out already. I'm cleaning up another guy's mess, and the size of my company cannot be cleaned up in 3 months, 6 months, in a year's time, especially when I'm scaling up to open up another facility. And basically, soon enough, when I purchase Beckett, I will now have an extra transition point to where I can actually do regional grading. I'll be able to take the West Coast, send everything back here to Southern California, take everything in the Midwest, drop it there to Dallas, Texas. Everything on the East Coast goes to Jersey. So I'm doing to bring down the grading down to $10 to $11 a card.
Until that happens, I don't want to hear that. But I do have some questions here because all
Okay.
right, I'll give you a little tiny pass about you cleaning up, the mess.
Joe's.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joe's
we'll
mess.
call it the
We're going to.
mess. Right, right.
Yeah.
You just said the size of your company. I just specifically asked you about adding the Funko Pops, which expanded your company. You added in the golden stuff. You added in the WADA. You've literally expanded the size of your company to where it is. And then you want to rewind and claim, but, I'm cleaning up a mess and due to the size of my company. If you had too much mess on your hands, then why didn't you clean the mess up before expanding your company to the size of this? Now, you just threw shade at us and said that you got us in a little bit of behind, in a bind, and we did get behind. I will admit that. But I believe we corrected it before it got out of hand. You are saying that your broomstick is broken, and instead of getting it cleaned up before you move forward, you've chosen to expand your company and then say you're still cleaning up a mess. You're putting the cart before the horse, is
Well,
what I'm hearing.
no, sir. My company always has to be open to acquisitions. I mean, we're always going to be looking to acquire other companies, and we're always going to look to squash other companies. And this is why these new grading companies that are coming out are just flies on the wall. It's just a matter of time before either we acquire them or we squash them. One of the two. Again, all it takes is for me to come out and say, hey, I'm dropping the price down to $10, $11, and it's over. There is no other company besides maybe you and myself in the competing market. So it depends how fast you can scale up and compete at my level, which I know you can't because you don't have the funding behind you to do so. So this is why I'm giving you the courtesy call and being friendly with you and kind of giving you a little bit of a heads up as to what I'm probably going to be doing here pretty quick. And I don't want your feelings to be hurt any more than they already have been.
You just said a magical word there, that we don't have the funding behind us. Isn't it ironic that we have survived and grown so strong without anyone pushing us along financially? Imagine what our capabilities would be if we did have that money behind us. What if somebody said, hey, let's invest in this, guys? We see the potential here. We see that passion, that growth. We see they're trying to do things the right way. Imagine the capabilities. Is that something that bothers you? Did you realize
No,
that
but
we've
no,
been pretty
no,
strong
because I
without it?
no, no, because you're not a part of the good old boys club. That's the problem. You don't understand.
Eh,
You got to be a part of the you got to be a part of the good old boys club to get that kind of money behind you. And you guys aren't that. So this is why I'm comfortable in saying that we're always going to be your daddy. You have to understand that. Either you play the game or we squash you. I'm allowing you to
I
stay
think
in the game, but you need
I'm sure the good old
but you
boys
need
have
to
an
be able to
enemy out
play.
there.
No, our the only enemy we truly have is money not coming in. As long as we have money coming in, we don't have any enemies.
You're very confident, sir. I will give you that. You're very confident,
Mhm.
as are we.
Well, of course I have to.
Um,
I have to
you
be.
know, I
Look
think
at
if
this. Look at
any
the
of
size of my
the
company.
hey, again, I'll say it once again: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Right? Everybody doubted us from the beginning. Everybody thought it was silly, but yet the support has risen. May not be tomorrow, may not be next year, may not be 5 years from now. But
Hmm.
growth is growth. Growth shows potential. Growth shows support.
Yes, yes, it
You
does.
guys,
Yeah, minimal support is support. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it's still support, right? Even if it's minimal.
and since we're just talking money, right?
Well, that's what the game
We
is it
made
not?
good profits.
Well,
You know,
sure, and you're welcome, right?
hey, I mean, look, we've gained support, we've gained profits, we've
Uh,
placed ourselves in the market. We
you're
arguably, I would say,
you're
is
welcome.
pretty strong number two. Um,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
Ford,
Because Beckett has dropped the ball, right?
yeah, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota, Honda, all of them they coexist. And hey, JD
Oh no,
Power and
we can
Associates
coexist.
gives their awards out every year. I know there was a fancy award ceremony that just happened over there, towards your area. Um, it's cute.
Oh,
It's cute.
at the industry, you mean the industry summit?
Well, I don't know if you attended or not. We were
No,
too
no,
busy. We were too busy setting our price change. I mean, maybe that's
no,
why you
no,
guys had to slip in the posted notes. I don't know, but
no, no,
come
no,
on.
no. No, we didn't attend the industry summit. What's the point of us attending the industry summit? I mean,
Oh, because you didn't
it's
get an award, right?
well, there's no need to be there. I mean, we don't need to be there to try to solicit a trophy. I
So
mean,
you still avoided my question.
what's that, sir?
What have you done to give back to the hobby?
Well, I mean, I feel that we constantly give back to the hobby. We give back value. We give back potential, sale volume. We give back, a quality brand that is respected for years versus. Did you get another phone call just now?
Why are you messing more? Why are you worrying about my phone calls?
Well, I thought we were friends. I mean, are you going to take somebody else's call? I heard your phone go off. You're not
I
cheating on me, are
mean,
you now?
it. There's always calls coming in on the line. That just keep going. I want to hear what you're giving back to the hobby.
Oh,
I'm really interested because, see, you think that my feelings are hurt, and really, I'm just trying to make sure the people understand.
no, no, no.
SGC is here for the hobby.
No,
So
no.
go ahead.
I took it.
Proceed.
I took it as a grain of salt. When I heard that. So that's why I felt bad. And I wanted to reach out to you. I just wanted to make sure that our friendship was not going to be affected because I hope that we get to see each other at the national, this year at Chicago, and I'll buy you a Chicago dog, and And I promise not to take too many pictures of you putting that dog in your mouth. But hey, you know, it is what it is.
You know where that dog's going, right? As soon as you turn around, it's going straight up your ass.
Are we not a family show here?
I'll get that out.
You don't have to. So again, let me just give you the one thing that I truly do feel that I give to the hobby. One, I do come out to the hobby and I participate on Instagram, and maybe I don't do it in the sense. What, Peter? Why are you laughing at me? I
Just
give
go ahead.
I give back to the hobby to show everyone that I'm a hobbyist just like they are. And although I do own a portion of this company, I don't own the entire company. I own a portion of this company. And yes, some of my money is involved here, but I'm just like you guys. When I submit my cards here to PSA, I may get, a PSA 5. Look at Kenny, what he ended up getting on his Jeters when they were submitted. So there is there are no favors here. We grade everything honestly. We try to make sure that we get everyone's cards back to them as soon as possible. But I will say, and this is a big but, in order for us to be able to do that, we have to have quality graders here. And the grading market is a tough market. It's hard to bring people into this market and get them scaled up and trained with the knowledge. One thing I think we're lacking, which a friend of mine kind of pointed out to me, he pointed out to me this a few months ago, that we don't bring in people that are long tooth to the hobby. And maybe we should, and
So,
because they
can I
have
ask
the
a
knowledge of the
question?
hobby.
I've heard a
Sure.
rumor. I've heard a rumor that's like one issue that you guys have with graders is they make more money once they learn how you grade cards, going out and buying cards to then send in to be graded and then selling them. Is that true?
I cannot say that it's true or false because one, I don't want to know, because to me that would be a conflict of interest really. So if I knew that specifically was going on with any certain individual, I couldn't have that individual working for us.
Well, I've heard that they don't stay working for you. They come in, learn the ropes, and then realize the pay sucks, and they leave, and that they can make more going out buying sports cards and knowing how they'll be graded because they've been under the lamp. That they can then make more money doing that.
We're in Southern California, baby. You got to be under a lamp. You need a nice little gym code tan. That tan that you get from that light is fantastic. So our pay scale kind of reflects off of that, the light bonus there. You're getting a
Gotcha.
free
What about the
tan in
Jersey
Southern
office? Is that the
California.
Jersey tan?
Well, we're kind of thinking about incorporating some of the Jersey Shore people. We think that if we bring some of them in as our marketing group, maybe our spokesman, maybe we might be able to do some real damage in the Jersey area.
So, from what I've heard, there's not a lot that you've really done so far. So far, I'll give you a pass. You've been sweeping the floor a bit. You've been scaling your
Right.
company, your
Right.
company, but you haven't
Right.
really
I'm at.
provided
I'm a.
much back to the hobby.
But that's exactly what I'm doing for the hobby. I'm acquiring other companies to bring them all under one umbrella to streamline everything much easier for the hobbyist. And once I am able to purchase Beckett, again, that's the worst thing that could happen to you, is that I purchase Beckett and I now control the entire country in the grading landscape. That's the worst thing that could happen to you, because no matter what price point you put it at, I will always be able to grade cards faster with 3 different locations at a lower price point than you.
You're gonna give people their cards back in 3 to 5 business days?
I'm going to have 3 different locations. How can I not?
I still don't think you could do that, Nat. I would give you a
Well,
magic broom
if I'm only
if you could
taking
do
in
that.
what you, if I'm
I'd give
only
you a
taking
magic
in what
broom
you're
if you
taking
could
in,
do that.
anybody can do that.
Hey, again, our people are being paid. We have the longest tenured grader in the hobby, so obviously he's pretty happy with his pay. I'm trying to make sure that my folks can advance not only in pay scale but in department and areas within the company here at SGC. I like
Yeah.
looking at growth. Making sure that my people know that it's not a dead end job that they can move up the scale. We don't bring people in on an online interview process to become a grader. They have to actually know about the hobby and about cards and appreciate it. And then, they rise up from there. So I think we're doing pretty good, in the amount that we're taking in right now. We're comfortable at it. Sure, we want to give more back because we love helping the people in the hobby. We love seeing the tuxedos out there. We love seeing the posts of people sharing, their returns or the videos on Instagram of their SGC returns. We love to hear people say that they got their stuff back in a week door to door rather than over a year door to door. We love to hear people say how consistent our grading is, not why did I get an 8? I think we've got a lot going for us. Whether we're doing 1 million or 100,000, we got a lot going for us.
You do. You're okay. Like I said, you're nipping at the heels. But the thing is, you're always going to be nipping at our heels.
As long as you know
So
we're there, that's what's most important.
So I just wanted to reach out to you and say there's no hard feelings. Yes, I did. Yes, I did scoop you, but it
Is your
wasn't
calling
done.
card about to run out?
No. I'm okay. Why?
Oh, I was just making sure. I was just making sure. I knew you were using some of those leftover calling cards from Kenny's little thing back in the 90s. I heard he still had a bunch that he needed to use up, and he tossed you some. So I figured that's what you were using to make the call
Those.
tonight. Look, see, I mentioned the calling card, and there it goes. He gets kicked out. Huh.
I'm back.
See, I
Can
told
you
you
hear
your
me?
calling card was running out. You must have had to refill that sucker.
No. I had only had the $50 Shack card, so I went to the $100 Marshall Falk card. Kenny
Gotcha.
gives me these cards, and he says that they're good, but they're not. They really aren't. That's another beef that I'm having with Kenny. Between
That's what
you
I
and I.
thought you were
You
using
know,
tonight.
yeah. I mean,
Cellular
you
One
know,
or something like that.
no, AT&T. AT&T.
18th. Okay. Well, you
Yeah,
got to the good ones.
yeah, AT&T and MCI. We colluded with both brands.
So on a
I mean,
serious note,
we contracted with both brands.
let's be serious now. Okay.
Okay.
Let's we've thrown shade at each other for a bit now. Let's really talk about let's think about the hobby, and let's really discuss what each of us can do to make the hobby a better place on our behalf.
Sure.
What is your thoughts to make the hobby better?
Oh, well, I yield the floor to you, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm going to see what my demand is like. I know what my capacity's at. I'm going to see what this price point is at. I apologize to the people. I've been trying to, it was a rough 2+ years navigating the waters. It's been rough, basically being the only ship afloat. The others were kind of, swaying in and out. obviously got swamped a bit. So we provided the best service we could. Glad folks were happy. I want to see where this $18 takes us. And if we don't get swamped or swallowed up, we'll reevaluate after the first of the year. We're in October. We got 3 months. I think it's a good start. We lowered, our bulk rate with our group submitters down to $5 more. We went from $30 to the public down to as much as 24, but down to 18 even to the public. So the public even we listened. The public was asking for a bulk option without a bulk submitter. We gave that to them. So now they have an $18 option out there. I get it. I get it. You guys match this, but we don't have a declared value. You guys do. We got the 5 to 10 day business day turnaround. Y'all got the 120 or whatever it is. So I think we both have special places on the field to where some folks might like one, some folks might like the other. I want to evaluate the next 3 months. I want to see if we grow. I want to see if I want to get back to that 100,000. That was a sweet number. Don't you think 100,000 cards a month? That is over 1 million cards a year. And for SGC as a company, let's look back like 3 years ago. We probably didn't even do 100,000 in the year. I mean, we've grown so much, right? We went from a handful of employees to over 170. So
Again, you're welcome. You're welcome.
hey, I mean, again, I think we're on the right path. I want to see where we get to. I want to continue to grow. Maybe throw some of these other things out. I'd like to, personally, I've been hearing a lot of people ask about the label. Haven't quite decided what to do with it yet. I know there's ideas tossed around for the tux, but plastic costs and all of that changes in manufacturers and that sort of thing can be difficult. So I don't know if I'll get to any of that, but we maybe could do some technology stuff. There's been talks of, report cards, and that's a fancy thing that folks are going to. Maybe we can get into some of that, be even more transparent.
And a pop report?
We have a pop report. Where have you been,
Yeah, but
Matt?
it's not.
It's what?
It's not very good, though. That's what I'm saying.
It's better than it has
It's
been.
not.
It's better than it has been. It
Okay.
suffices. It suffices. And there's
Okay.
also some companies out there that's building, the integrated pops that have like all of the companies in there. The guys over at GymRate, they've been pulling a lot of data and stuff. And there's some other companies that are putting some sweet things together. I think, it's nice seeing one company, their pop report, but it doesn't tell the full story. You got to know everything to know the full population, right? So I think the unified pop report is a good thing. So I'll let those guys do that. But people want to know, why did my card get a 9.5? Why did it get a 9? Some people, they just pull the card and they're like, pack fresh, it's a 10, right? Yeah, bro, send it in. And they get it back and it's like a 8.5. It's got some panini smudge on it or something. And they're like, oh crap, SGC is tough. They've got an 8.5. So we want to do like, a little bit more transparency. I think the report card, you go to school and you get a 74 on your paper, the teacher's going to mark it with X's and check marks, right? So we want to give that back. Let people know what they missed, right?
So you're saying you're going to be a C average then?
Depends on what school district you go to. Some the grading has changed, right? But anyway.
Well, I mean,
we just want to continue to improve and make the people happy.
You said 74%.
No. See, you. I was using it as an example to show.
Oh, okay.
Like if you went to school and you got a 74, you're going to be wondering why you got a 74. Same way, if you get an 8.5, you're going to wonder why you got an 8.5, right?
Yeah, I don't think of low numbers like that. I'm much more of a positive person. I believe in working harder and getting stronger and getting into that 90 percentile.
Oh yeah, but you only go to 90 because that's right. You don't have a 9.5. You only have the 9. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. That whole 9.5 thing is just, ugh, yeah. I mean, it's
It
good for you, not good
it
for
allows
us.
you to give more 10s, like I said, right?
No, it doesn't confuse the hobby, is what it doesn't do. And again, I'm not going to fault you guys for it. I mean, that's your thing. Just like Beckett's thing is not coming out and speaking to anybody. You know, we could have invited somebody from Beckett, to come speak on their behalf today, but you know what would have happened? It would have been crickets anyway. So, what's the
So
point?
what is your plans? Let me hear your plans.
Well, first, I want to thank the hobby in general for supporting us throughout the years and for the continued support and belief and knowledge of knowing that PSA is the number one grading company in the grading landscape. And by acknowledging them and us, we are going to make sure that we're going to do another price drop here again. So I'm dropping the ball on you right now, Peter. We're going to drop again here just before Christmas. We're going to do a Christmas special and we're going to hurt you. We're going to definitely hurt Beckett. CSG, yeah, they're just more Beckett guys anyway. So, I mean, it is what it is. And to come after the first of the year, we're going to reevaluate the system and hopefully we will have Beckett in place as an acquisition and we will have the grading landscape across the market. And by March to April, we will have grading fees down to $10 to $12 at every level,
I'm trying to
with
remember.
the exception of overnight.
Doesn't the Isn't the first of the year normally when y'all raise prices?
Well, that's the old regime.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was just trying to make so what is your goal? Like I said, 100,000 is great for us. What's your goal a month?
I'm I'm not going to give you a number because the hobby is going to dictate how many we do, and
But what is
we
your like
we
what is your capacity? You as the man running the ship have to know what you can take in.
oh well, I mean, without a doubt, we can take as many cards as we can handle. We could take as
So what
many
is
as you
that
can
number?
dish out.
I sat here and stated what our number is.
Yeah, but I don't have a number here, Peter. There is no number that we can't handle. That's what I'm telling you. With us owning the landscape straight across the country, there is no number that we can't handle. It's
Mm.
all about scaling.
So what I hear you saying is where I screwed up
But
when
you
I
didn't
went on
screw up.
cardboard.
No,
No,
wait, wait.
wait. Let me finish. Let
You
me
didn't
finish,
screw up.
please. Let me finish. I
We're
screwed up
friends.
when I went on Cardboard
You
Chronicles
didn't
and I said, "Send
screw
me
up.
your cards."
Oh,
I'm gonna mute your mic a second.
well, I mean, I did step on you and shut everything down, did I not?
No, no, no. Listen to me. I told everybody to send me their cards, and that's what I hear you saying.
Mhm.
Send us your cards. We can take it all.
Mhm.
So
Sure.
what you're
I mean,
telling the
people know.
people, what you're telling the people today is
Mhm.
expect another 12, 16, 18 month wait.
Well, I mean, there is a price to pay when you deal with the best and the best return value. Now, providing that we don't acquire Beckett, then I cannot guarantee those turnaround times. So, being forthright and honest with you, because we're friends, I can't guarantee those turnaround times.
You don't
But
have to guarantee me anything. You need to guarantee the hobby.
we're talking as friends here. That we're not telling the hobby anything about this discussion. I truly hope you're not recording any of this because
Oh,
I
never. I
okay.
can't record when you're on your your MCI pay cards.
Okay. By the way, I've only got about another 2 minutes left on this card. So
Okay.
again, so again, I want to give back to the hobby, but I need a little bit more time to acquire Beckett. When I acquire Beckett, the amount that I give back to the hobby will reflect in the pricing, and the hobby will be better for it because everybody will be able to grade and everybody will be able to enjoy the landscape of grading. And that's what we want, isn't it? We want more people in the hobby.
I'll believe it when I see it, Nat.
Okay.
Maybe we just go buy Beckett. How about that? You just told us your secret.
Yep.
Maybe
But
we go buy it.
you don't have the money to. Whatever you
Oh, you
offer,
don't know that. You
whatever
don't know.
you whatever you
Everybody says
offer,
these. Everybody
whatever
says that the tuxedo looks cheap. Do you think we pay a lot for it?
No, I'm
We've
not
been
talking
running
about
at $30 a card, bro.
Again, you're welcome. You're welcome. You don't think we manipulated the market? Of course we did.
But no,
But
on a serious note, on a serious note, and we're getting at about the hour mark. This has been fun, and just want to reiterate to everybody, this is just in good fun. We don't know any inside.
100% hypothetical here.
Yeah, this has just all been fun.
Yeah.
In reality, I don't know any more of what's going on than anybody else, other than what is
Wait a minute.
what's been shared.
I will say there is a grading company that I know that is in trouble right now.
Probably HGA.
And they're really close to being acquired by another grading company.
Is it HGA?
I'm not saying any names because we're in play.
Yeah, I expect HGA to be like that. Well, a lot of those the companies that came up over I'll call them the panda companies. I expect several of them to try to figure out. I don't see them being up much longer. I give them credit. Some of them put up a hell of a battle throughout the pandemic and everything, but it was only a matter of time. We've all said it's great to have options out there, and it's nice, but there's also a point where it becomes a little too much. And I think the best thing with options is it does give folks, a use case scenario, mostly for PC stuff, to go outside the box if other companies are too much or taking too long or what have you. But at the same time, so many people grade cards to add value to the card. If the company you're using isn't adding value to the card, then you're basically losing money at that point. So
Sure.
I do think some of those companies are probably holding on by a thin thread.
Yep.
But hopefully if folks did like them, and I'm going to use HGA again because they did have some support for a while. I think the biggest thing was that the guy, and I don't remember his name, Tyler or something like that, and the issues that came about with him, and the questions like some of their social media videos they did just didn't make any sense. And then you had the issues with him. I think that hurt them more than anything. I think the lack of transparency on stuff, that kind of hurt them. But overall, I just want to reiterate again, just to make sure everybody knows, this isn't to talk crap about either Peter or Nat. This was simply us guys having fun. Just just literally, that's why we were laughing so much as well. Just having fun
because me being a PSA guy, I'm still pretty pissed off at PSA.
Yeah, and that was another aspect to it because I support SGC wholeheartedly. And there's been the accusations, oh, you own SGC, oh, Peter's hiding behind the Nats flag back there. All the fun, and the people listening on podcasts, if you've never watched my channel or seen the setup, you wouldn't know what's back behind me or anything. But it's always in good fun. And Refractor is a PSA supporter, and so that's why we were okay, I'll take Peter's role. and
but
just a hypothetical parody conversation between
yeah,
them two. And
but I'm also listen. But I'm also an SGC supporter. You know
yeah,
that
yeah,
I've always been an SGC supporter of old. You know what I mean? Did I agree with some of the new with the new? We had this conversation. I didn't. I didn't agree with some of those things. But those are growing pains, and those are things that can be changed, and things happen. And I personally feel that yes, they could do some other things to grow their company, but it's not my company. It's their
you have
company.
to. I mean, you have to think too. Like you have to, no matter whether you support them or hate them, you have to give SGC. And I'm not just sitting here saying this because I've been on the train for the entire ride. You have to give them a lot of credit because with everything that has been thrown at them, they
Hmm.
came from this small, like legit number four, or number three. The
Number
number
three,
four didn't exist, but
right?
they became as this small entity, number three. And to give
Yep.
you a perspective of how small they were, when I sent my first order in, it was before the pandemic. It was before the hobby blew up. It was before they were really accepted in ultra modern or modern cards.
Hmm.
Okay. But they only had, like, when I say a handful of people, I can't remember if it was 5 employees or 7. Peter, he kind of alluded to it in his interview this evening. He said everybody used to have a phone on their desk because it was all hands on deck. If the phone rang, somebody had to answer the phone, right? And
Right.
that's nothing that's 100% truth, because the first time I ever called down there, back when the phone lines were actually open for, you called down and somebody would answer and you could talk to them rather than email. The first time I ever called down there, I actually asked to speak to Andy, he's no longer works there. He's now with JSA,
Right.
but I asked to
Hmm.
speak with Andy, and Andy wasn't in, and I got directed then the next step to Peter. Like legit, Peter was the one that I had on the phone, and I'm like, okay, the first time ever calling the company, and I have the CEO on the phone. And he took, just like he does on these interviews, he sat there for 45 minutes to an hour and just talked to me about his passion with the company, the grading process, all of that stuff. And he basically just said, hey, if you're looking for a company, I think you should give us a try. And at the time, I was coming off of my submission with PSA, and Beckett's prices were too much. And I had seen the new black bordered label instead of the green label, and I liked it.
Hmm.
I liked the bigger numerical number. I
Right.
liked the way, I had already liked the black frame, but I didn't care for the green label. I seen
Yeah,
the
that
black
was
label, and I was,
that truly was the best thing that SGC did, was change that label.
yeah.
You know.
But anyway, that attracted me to him, and so I called down and I talked to Peter, and then the reason I'm sharing all this is even then it was 21 days door to door. So it's not even like it is today where they're kicking stuff out in 3 to 5 days. They advertise 5 to 10, but it's running at around 3 to 5 days. Even back then, it took 21 days to get door to door. That's how small they were. Because
Hmm.
even though they weren't getting a lot of demand, they just didn't have a lot of people,
Right.
So
Right.
100 cards could be a load of work for them to get through back then. So
Sure.
it's awesome to see the growth and to see gem rate pop up, that they are capable of doing 100,000 cards a month today. Sure, they're not at a million like PSA, nowhere close. PSA has definitely got the monster out there. They are the operation, the manhandle, stranglehold at the top right now. But you have to respect the growth, the bumps and bruises. If they've made a mistake, Peter's normally, he's been pretty quick to jump on something. If they make a mistake, to come up and say, we messed up.
Yeah.
And that's what we need,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
excuses,
Yeah.
take responsibility,
Yeah. Being
admit it,
forthright. Yeah. Being
and
forthright
say,
and
hey,
honest
look,
is a big deal.
yep, we screwed up, but we don't want to do this again. So we're letting you know,
Yep.
yes, we made a mistake, but we learned from this, and we don't want to do that again. So here's what happened. Here's how we plan to move forward. You got to respect all that. Are
No,
they the top
absolutely.
dog? No. But if they can continue, to make strides, even if it is small, incremental strides, and continue learning, continue growing, continue improving, I think they could definitely provide. And I don't mean take over number one spot or anything like that. But if you continue improving your company, improving your business, and expanding it and doing things the right way, eventually you're going to grow, you're going to sustain, you're going to have more growth. There might even at some point be a time where they're like right now, we could say they're at 10% capacity. Maybe at some point they reach a 50% capacity,
Mhm.
of PSA. If PSA hits, let's just say 1.2 million a month, maybe SGC at some point can get to 600,000. That's going to take a lot of growth though. You know,
Yep,
that's a lot of cards. The hobby itself would have to grow a lot
it
to
sure
be
would.
putting out, 1.8 million cards over the course of just two companies. And the
Yep.
other side I want to mention with SGC that I think a lot of people don't realize the numbers they're putting out right now. And Peter, if you listen to this, if somebody says, "Hey, there's two goofballs acting like Nat and you need to go listen to this shit what they're talking about," and you make it through to get this far, I want people to understand something. And I see this because I keep a close eye on numbers and what the companies are doing and everything. SGC's numbers are pretty much organic sports and like the F1 stuff, the soccer stuff, and mixed in with a little bit of that niche non-sport stuff. Their TCG is legit like nothing. I looked up gem rates datas because they posted last week's numbers. What all the companies did last week.
Mhm.
SGC did 1,000 TCG cards. That's it, 1,000. That is nothing when you compare to. I don't. Let me pull it real quick just so I don't give false information.
So,
Um,
but why is that? Because they're not marketing towards the TCG brand, or the landscape, or they're just not they're not pushing enough weight to get people to believe that they can grade that stuff.
so I think it's more. The TCG has actually grown a lot in the past. I think GemRate started doing data in May of 2021. I think is when they posted their first numbers, and at the time they were only tracking PSA. And at that point, I think in a month, the TCG numbers for PSA was like 90,000 cards. Today, it's like somewhere up in the range of like, hold on, pull it up here. So for the last 30 days, they did 274,649. In May of 2021, the TCG numbers for PSA was like 90,000. So there's been like a 3x growth on the
Yeah.
TCG stuff coming in. And I think those like YouTubers, influencers, that sort of thing, I think they only really speak on. Obviously, Beckett has a big market in TCG. A lot of Beckett's numbers. Actually, Beckett did 3,400 TCG last week. SGC only did 1,000. And the likelihood is it was actually under 1,000 and they just rounded it up to 1,000. But PSA did 60.5K. So they're on pace for essentially 242,000 for the month. All right.
Mhm.
CGC did 24,000. So they're on pace for 92,000 for a month or for the month. And Beckett did 3.4. So they'll be just under 14,000 for the month. SPC only did 1,000. So they're on pace for 4,000. But overall, SGC's numbers for the week was 17.3K. So I don't know if it's maybe their name because it's Sports Card Guarantee. and people aren't finding them when they're Googling like Pokemon cards or, Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering or whatever. I don't know if it's that space doesn't like the tuxedo. Um, I don't know if it's just the people in that market. Now, interestingly enough, I think it was February 2021 when the first edition gold label Charizard sold. It was in an SGC slab.
Hmm.
Uh, at that time, set the record for a high Pokemon card. So I don't know if it's just people in the TCG world don't recognize SGC as much. I know Steve Aoki and Gary King Pokemon had did a charity event and had some Pokemon graded by SGC, and they sold those for charity.
Yeah, but
Um,
anything that Aoki gets involved in, you run from it in a big hurry because it's going to go nowhere but down fast.
like I said, I just know that those were some bigger names that used SGC and
Yeah,
did a charity thing.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so I don't know, but
he's
that's an
he's
interesting thing
he's
because
pushing he's pushing Disney right now. You know that?
yeah, I actually went on. I didn't know what they were, but Mrs. loves Disney, so I went on to try to look at them,
Yeah,
and the prices are out of my range already. So
yeah.
it's
I
something I've
mean,
missed the boat on.
it's
Um,
crazy, but I mean, it's going to be
I didn't
another
know anything
thing.
about it,
It's
so
another thing that's just going to plummet anyway. I mean, if Aoki's
yeah.
behind it, forget it. You know, it's everything that he's got his hands on has gone the wrong
So
way as far as the card market.
here is my point, though. All right, so looking at all of these companies, so PSA for a total did 240,000, but 60,000 was TCG. So
Hmm.
that's legit 25% of their market, right?
Yeah.
CGC did 30, we'll call it 33,000. They did 32.9 thousand overall. 24.1K was TCG cards. All right. So that's again like 25% of their numbers was, or sorry, 75% of their number was TCG, right?
Okay.
Beckett did 10.3K total cards, where 3.4K were TCG and non-sport. So a third of Beckett was also that TCG RAM. SGC did 17.3K and only 1,000 was in that TCG non-sport realm. So pretty much all of their cards were sports cards.
Or
So
sports. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if they could bump the TCG realm up, their numbers would be stronger. They're
Sure.
essentially right now where CCG, Certified Collectible Group, they're running off of mostly their TCG market, and their sports cards are struggling. They only did 8,800 sports cards at CSG, where theirs is heavy on the TCG side and struggling on the sports card side. SGC is the opposite. Their stronghold is sports cards, but they struggle on the TCG side.
Hmm.
The funniest thing is those companies like SGC used to be owned by CCG, and if they combine powers back, like
Yeah.
SGC would fill in that sports card realm, on the umbrella. So it's a weird thing to look at because I don't know the whole reason that SGC branched out from CCG back whenever that happened. I don't know what
Hmm.
happened there, but it's interesting that once again CCG is struggling with sports cards, of all things. So, but that I don't think people actually dive deep into those numbers to understand.
No, they don't.
SGC's numbers are like 90. I mean, what is that? 1,000 out of 17,000. If that was 20,000, that'd be 95% would be sports cards. Whereas the other companies are like in the opposite range. Like they're doing a pretty big portion is that TCG stuff. So
Hmm.
I think they're doing very well in the hobby in the sports card side,
Yeah.
Um,
I truly think that they just need to strive for, and I'm going to give the example here in a PSA form. They need to strive to be a PSA 9. They don't need to be that PSA 10. They just need to be that PSA 9. Strive for that number and continuously be at that number and continue to keep giving that alternative service that
Mm-hmm.
PSA doesn't offer, and they will definitely absorb some more of that market share. And then, whatever ends up happening with Beckett, then that'll be the big ball that drops, when
I I
something
think they're
happens
the
there.
odd. To be honest with you, I think they're the oddball out. I think they have some supporters that are still holding onto a strand because of subgrades.
Yeah.
But I think overall, Beckett is the oddball out because right now, if you want an alternative option, and maybe this is where the hobby is seeing itself. If you want an alternative option to PSA for sports cards, you can go to SGC. If you want an alternative to PSA for TCG, you can go to CGC.
Mhm.
And so there's other options there in place for people that don't want to use PSA for whichever market.
Right.
Um, I
But
think
that's
even
but that's
to
why I
throw it
say
even further.
but that's why
Go
I
ahead.
say Beckett is a wild card here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? If somebody can acquire Beckett, they're going to do some damage. They can do some real damage by acquiring Beckett and rebranding that company.
yeah. I mean, unless you just wanted it for the facility, I don't know about rebranding it at all. I don't know what the purpose would be. I mean, the
Oh,
main thing that they have going for them is the Beckett name.
yeah, yeah, but
I
I
mean,
mean, you have to clean up the old regime. It's no different than PSA, because everything under Orlando went absolutely downhill at PSA. So everybody said, "Hey, you know what? We got to do some house cleaning." And
yeah.
granted, they
I
they
mean,
did keep a lot of people there, but they also did get rid of the cronies. They all went.
I think it's I've heard people saying that they think the numbers are going to drop down and that the companies made these changes because numbers dipped. And quite honestly, I don't really think I don't think it was all about that.
They were
I
long.
honestly think
They
I
were
think
long
SGC
overdue.
changed their number because they knew that they could handle, they seen for 3 months. I did a video on it. I showed
Yeah.
that the numbers were sustained around the 65 to 75,000 a month range,
Hmm.
and they knew their capacity was 100,000. So they knew they could take in 25 to 35,000 more. And so they were like, okay, we don't want to go too far down to where we exceed capacity and our backlog grows or whatever. But
Yeah.
we can give some back to people to give a little bit of a price break. I think they wanted to see. I mean, again, I've mentioned this before in other, in the podcast and other things. We are in an unprecedented time right now. We've never seen it where PSA has no backlog, Beckett essentially has no backlog, and a fourth player with CSG is in the mix, and SGC running on this super fast turnaround. We've never had this offering in the hobby in our lifetime, really. And
Hmm.
so it would be interesting to see how all of the companies reacted, adjusted, and moved forward with it. I think SGC is the one, they've got a good thing going. I know Peter stresses how important he loves that quick turnaround time. And so I think he wants to be able to keep that as an option and he wants to be strategic on his moves down. I know I was vocal about it. I know I've said, hey, you got to cut the price. But I also can understand him and respect if he's not wanting to go balls to the wall and drop it down too soon. He wants to see, let's scale the capacity up a little bit. And if anything about the whole little, our little fun we had, I don't think his feelings were hurt. I think he was upset because the optics made it look like SGC was unprepared and that
Yeah.
PSA was once again high on their horse and out in front, and
Right.
SGC was reacting to them. And
Right.
he wanted to take that pride back and say, no, look, people, we had this planned. They are now reacting to us.
Right. That's
And
why
know,
that's why I said I didn't hurt your feelings because we scooped you, right?
yeah, I don't think it
Right.
hurt his feelings, to be
No.
honest with you. I
No.
felt a little fire and a little passion in his
Yeah.
announcement on Instagram. And
Sure.
it was kind of like, no, guys, we are here.
Yeah.
You pissed me off. You didn't hurt my feelings. You pissed me off because
Yeah.
now you're trying to make me look bad. And I know what I'm doing. I'm running this company. I'm doing things the right way, but you're making people think differently.
Yeah, but
And
cut you off right there. He can't get his emotions involved in this.
no,
This is where he has to say, "Hey, okay, you want to play that way? That's fine. We'll play that way, but this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it the right way. Whatever
yep.
you do, I'm not going to react to what you're doing." It's
And
just like play yard, kind of stuff. You just don't do it. It's not good for your business, to get emotional and stuff.
and I
Because
actually was worried about the interview he did with Luca Tigers, because when the post was the real story the hobby needs to hear, I was like, oh crap, he's gonna come out talk mad crap, just be in his emotions. It's a Monday, he's pissed off, he's seeing all the posts, people are talking crap, he's gonna let folks have it. He came out and he told, he explained everything. He he didn't get too irrational or
Mhm.
upset or anything. So I was proud to see that, because I was worried when I first seen the post. I
Yeah.
was like, oh crap, he's
I know. I know. Like I told you, I was sitting in Children's Hospital when I saw that come across on my phone, and I was like, "Uh oh!" I said, "I'm gonna have to watch this one." So
yeah, yeah,
that's why I jumped in there just to watch, just to see, if the fireworks were coming.
right. But no, I mean, all in all, you know, I I thought they were gonna change back in July. It didn't happen. We'll have to see. I mean, I know this gives a relief to some folks. I know there's been some folks happy. Obviously, I talked to many people at many different times. There's a lot of people excited about the price break. I'll tell you, many folks may not even remember, but when they dropped bulk down from $25 to $23, the reaction to that was insane. So
Mm,
I'm really curious to see what subs look like this month. I can kind of gauge when an adjustment happens like this, and then see what comes in as to the reaction and the response people have to it.
yeah,
So it'll be curious to see. Uh, I gotta commend them again, not just because I'm a submitter for them. Even if I used another company, I do have to say they've been trying to do things the right way. They've been trying to do for the hobby, which is very important, and people should respect that.
yeah.
And they are also at the same time a company, a business, and they do have employees and other things that they have to take care of. So
Sure. Yeah.
um
Overhead's not cheap.
right. And it'll be, I also have to say, yeah, it's kind of a shady move that PSA did, but at the same time, it's kind of fun to see the little competition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
But
fun. It's fun for us as consumers to see that, hey,
yeah, it's good to
SGC is
see.
putting pressure on them.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see, but it still doesn't help the true, set builder,
Oh yeah, yeah.
guy, set registry guy like myself that's going to
I
be
don't
putting stuff together.
I don't know
We
if you noticed my Instagram post that I did the other day. When I took my stack of cards and I was showing
Yeah,
like cards,
I saw your post as note.
and I had both. Yes, if anybody is curious, that was 100% intentional. That was 100% because I knew before Peter even gave the explanation this evening, I knew what had happened. That was a
Mhm.
slapback at PSA. The song was
Yeah,
intentionally picked as "This is how legends are made,"
yeah,
and I had some fun with it
uh
because, you know,
yeah.
it
I saw that and I
I knew the
laughed.
story,
I
I
was
knew
like, oh
what was
man,
going on, and, I need to get better at my marketing, so I think sometimes having some fun with things, is the best way to go about it. So just like this podcast
yeah,
tonight, that I hope this morning, it's night when we're recording it, but Wednesday morning, we just wanted to have some fun. So
yeah,
please take offense to any of it. Don't put any truth behind any of it. Don't run and tag Nat Turner on Twitter or Peter on his new Instagram account, and say, "Hey, are you really doing this? I heard this on the card." No, don't. Please. This was all a parody. This was all for fun. This was just me and Refractor being silly. Um, he approached me with the idea, and I was like, you know what, let's roll with this. Sounds fun. So we just wanted to do something a little off the wall, out of the box, have some good laughs, and we both hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, throw us a like, comment, and join the chatter, and let us know how we're doing. But as always, folks, we do thank you and hope you have a wonderful day.
Hold on one second, and we will give Beckett an opportunity to comment if you would like in the comment section if you wanted to join the round table there, because we did leave you out, but I'm sure there's nobody going to come forth and
Dr.
defend Beckett.
James
So.
or the actual Dr. James or the actual Beckett?
No,
I don't even know who
no,
runs that company.
no. I would never insult the man.
No, I wasn't
There's no
saying
way.
insulting. Let him join the round table. He can join
No,
in the
no.
fun and have a good laugh too.
No, because I mean it's still his name, and that's the unfortunate thing, because they're hurting his name, and I don't like
That's
that,
true.
because
That's
the
true.
the man is a great man. He really is, and it's a shame that what they've done to that company.
That's true. That's true. Mad respect to Dr. Beckett. He was awesome to meet at the National and hang out with at the Hangout.
Mhm.
So, and I have like one of my favorite pickups of the National has a story to tell. Actually, both of my big cards, or whatever you want to call them, that I picked up, they have a story to tell, because the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. James Beckett, held them and admired them, and now they are a piece of my collection. So, but as always, folks, we really do hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.